Hey guys, zpolt here and I'm back for another video and another review, and this time we're looking at the Senfer DT6. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to take a look at this because you're saying that this is one of the best in the price range, and you're asking why I haven't reviewed this. So I'm really excited now to take a look at this. Of course, thanks to AK Store for sending this over. Links down below for their shop. We're gonna check this. Is it a worthy competitor in the price range? We're gonna find out in this video. But of course, we review budgetfi to midfi audio gear, so if you're into that, consider subscribing. So I haven't reviewed anything from Senfer yet, so it's gonna be the first time, so really excited about this. So this is a 6-driver system, hi-fi earphone, and 3+3 hybrid drivers. So it says it's dynamic BA and a piezo driver, so unique setup here. Balanced armature, piezo, dynamic driver, MMCX also, sensitivity 110 dB, 32 ohm impedance, MMCX. The box is pretty plain overall. Let's open it up. Alright, so you're greeted with some manuals, user guide, and contains the warranty card also. Alright, and greeted with the Senfer right away. Let's take a look at the package first. So you have tips that is pretty soft and black in color. Not so bad tips overall. I do like these kinds of tips. It is very comfortable in the ear. So the cable looks like a 4-core cable. That's a straight plug, metal in build. In the fork part, it is a small metal also, and black in color, which is something I like. And the cable is pretty standard, I'd say, in terms of thickness. Not so bad. It still feels good. Definitely not the most high quality cable I've seen, but not so bad cable overall. It is black in color, and the texture is pretty nice. So it's yeah, I would say pretty standard cable. I would say this is a notch up compared to other KZ counterparts. And let's take a look at the lobes itself. So the lobes are already installed, pre-installed. And as you can see, guys, the tips that they have with the default one is a different tip. So the lobes are pretty sick looking overall. It has the sci-fi look. It is glossy plastic, and it has some holes here also. So it has that kind of cyberpunk futuristic look, which is something that you might like or not like. So it doesn't have ear hooks also. So this wears like a typical earbud or earphone design, which is again might be for you, not for you. So it is metal in build. I would say upscale in terms of the build quality. This does feel solid. It has some weight to it also. Alright, so this is how it looks like. Alright, so right off the bat, this is kind of a weird feeling in the ear. So the edges of the earphones kind of scraping in your ear. So that is a kind of a weird feeling. I haven't felt this before. So I would say that in terms of comfort, this is not right off the bat the best comfort in terms of earphones that I have ever worn. So I'm not really a fan of the comfort here. In terms of stability, I would say this is also below average because there's no ear hooks here. It is not that stable on the ear. It does hold, but this is again not the most stable that I have worn. So this is not something that you can use when you're running or even doing slight activity. This is not something that you want to use. This is more for a casual listen. In terms of looks, it's not that bad. It is a unique look. But I would say that this is not for everybody in terms of look. Whether you like that or not, that will be up to you. In terms of sealing, this does not seal well. I think this kind of an open design. I can still hear my voice nicely. So yeah, the holes and the earphones might be an open design. That may increase the soundstage a bit, but yes, in terms of isolation, this does not isolate that well. I would say pretty average in terms of isolation. There's still some isolation, but I can still hear my voice. So okay, so after fiddling around, I actually got a good fit finally. So when you get a good fit, it is not that bad. There's still that the metal scraping in your ear, but it is not that bad when you get a good fit. But yes, this is something for you guys to note. This is not the most comfortable earphone that you can wear. There's some quirks here in the Senfer DT6. Alright, so I did listen to the Senfer DT6, and right off the bat, I'm really impressed with this IEM, especially for the price, for around $26 here in the DT6. So it's a fairly neutral sounding IEM, but it has a slight bass elevation and also slight recessed mids here in the DT6, but I would say still pleasing overall in terms of the frequency range It's a lively sounding IEM, it's aggressive sounding, and very energetic sound, especially in the bass department. So the highs have some shimmer, no sibilance, but a good extension there at the top. It is in the clean side, more of the lean, dry kind of highs here. Not the thickest highs that I've heard, but very good energy still, and also transparent sounding. Good highs overall, and also good detail in the highs department. So this kind of reminds me of the TNT3 in a way, in terms of the approach and the highs here, more of clean and dry kind of highs here. So mids are slightly recessed, but not too much. Of course, still vocals are forward in the mix. It has good detail, again, more of clean, lean type of mids. Again, not the thickest mids that I've heard. It's a bit thin in comparison to others with very lush mids. So again, this is much like the TNT3 in a way. So the mids and highs in general sounds like you can use them for monitoring. Clean sounding overall, and also tons of detail. So I was impressed, definitely impressed with the mids and highs here in the DT6. But what's good here is the bass is also very listenable. So even if the highs and the mids are clean sounding, the bass adds a touch of warmth and also a touch of smoothness to the sound. So the bass is in the boomy side and also has a lot of punch. Very nice energy in the bass department. So this trumps the previous KB Ear Opal as the most punchy earphone that I've heard here in that price range. So it has a slight elevation in the bass as well. So this may be something that the bass heads can use, but definitely is not, you know, super forward bass here. This is not your Opera Factory OM1, but it has good energy in the bass with the punch that it might satisfy some bass heads. So it also has a little bit of mid hump in the bass department and the frequency. So it adds a touch of muffling to the sound, especially on some tracks that has a lot of bass. So that's something for you guys to note. But I would say still overall, bass is well controlled and also not overpowering the rest of the spectrum, but it's still pleasing bass here in the DT6. So right off the bat, for $25, this kind of sound for $25 is really impressive. I haven't heard this kind of sound in that kind of price range. Next is the soundstage. So the soundstage is above average. Very similar to the KZ soundstage in terms of the expansiveness. So not that expansive. So it's more of depth than width here in the DT6. Imaging is also above average, not super black and white. But it's not that hard to pinpoint the instruments, but definitely this is not, you know, monitoring level in terms of imaging here in the DT6. Separation also is above average. So the bass slightly decreases the separation because the bass is more in the smooth side, but overall still not bad. Separation is still good. So overall, the key strength here in the DT6 is the frequency range. So from highs, mids to bass, this kind of signature, this kind of price range definitely is impressive. I haven't heard this kind of signature in this price range. So this, I would say, a versatile kind of signature, much like the TNT3 in a way. But definitely, yes, the TNT3 is still sonically better. 1/4 the price, definitely the DT6 is very good value for what you're paying for. So compared to the TNT3, the DT6 has more forward bass in the mix. TNT3 also has more controlled highs, more pleasing highs overall, and more detail in the highs department. So definitely TNT3, one of the key strengths is the highs there. TNT3 has a tighter bass also, more controlled in the TNT3. TNT3 has better imaging. Again, that's something that I use for mixing and monitoring. The TNT3 is like my compact kit. And overall, the DT6 is close to the T3, but definitely I like the TNT3 more. But definitely in terms of value, you know, you're getting a lot for the DT6. Next is the KZ ZS10 Pro. So the ZS10 Pro has more elevated bass. The punch in the DT6 just shines over the ZS10 Pro. The DT6 has an impression that it's still for a bass head's IEM. The DT6 also has more forward mids. The stage is similar. ZS10 Pro has more detail in the mids department. The highs are similar as well. ZS10 Pro is more relaxed in comparison compared to a DT6. So overall, these two are close to my favorite system. I would say I like them both. Right, so verdict. So the DT6 is a surprise for me. So now I know why people are recommending me this IEM, because for around $26, it's in the budget category. You're getting this frequency graph. You're getting this kind of sound detail, and also just nice detail across the range, and also metal build, MMCX. So it has a lot going for it in the DT6. So definitely this is something right off the bat, yes, I would recommend for $26. It is a versatile sound, especially for those who like punch in their life. So if you're listening to music with a lot of bass, this may excite you because there's a lot of punch here in the DT6, but still has that detail in the mids and highs department. So yes, it's a versatile IEM. This is a surprise for me. I would definitely recommend the DT6 for $26. I would say maybe it's a steal for me for $26. So yes, really impressed with this. Of course, if you want to get one, use my links below from AK Store. That's the partner here in this channel. Use my links if they help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you love this review, leave a like, and of course subscribe for more content like this in the future. And have you listened to the Senfer DT6? How do you like them? Are you still listening to them now? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.